Well, hello everybody. My name is Toby Dawson. Some of you may actually know me from a different world, which is the gaming world, but for everyone that doesn't know me, I'm going to explain now. So, very simply, I'm here representing BestMeta as an eSport talent. I fly around the world to all different countries, commentating computer games everywhere around the world. The biggest event I cast every single year is in Seattle, run by a group called Valve, called the International, with a $25 million prize pool. And a large portion of this all comes from the community. So what we want to try and create here is a portal. It's a portal which will connect the community, the talent creators, the investors, anyone out there, that we bring them all together, the service providers, in order to actually create better content in the gaming world. Now, before I get into all of that, we get to show a very embarrassing picture of me from not that long time ago. So I want to try and highlight a little bit of where talent actually come from, because you guys probably have no idea who gaming talent are, where we actually stem from. Gaming came from a very repressed kind of world. The developers were out there making tons of money, but the gamers themselves were all true to themselves. They were true to the games that they loved. They loved it for either, they just liked the character, they loved the competitive nature of it. They're very, very dedicated. And no matter what we did it good, and we did it with community support. And this is where we try and push things forward. When I started, I had absolutely nothing. I put myself into debt so I could build my first streaming rig. I worked my ass off to try and actually build up a clan, to build up a network. I even started an educational school for commentators, which was all just freelance commentators doing it for the people that wanted to consume it. This is the foundation of our community. This is what they love. They respect really good ideas. And luckily, I had enough good ideas and I had enough talent that I was able to be one of the lucky ones that now sits in the tier 1 level of commentators that move around the world. But this isn't the case for everybody else. But before we get there, we go to our next step, which is the power of that community. So the community itself, you guys love numbers, right? So this is our best way of describing numbers. So Valve, with the International, which I mentioned previously, they put in $1.6 million for their prize pool for their game, for their big tournament that happens every year. Now, they give a service back to the community. They say, we'll give you an in-game cosmetic. It's all the microtransactions. Everyone's probably loving those whenever you hear about gaming and making money through microtransactions. So what they do is they give you something as a cosmetic item or something in return, and you give them money. And a percentage of this is then put into the prize pool, and the percentage of it goes to the developer, and they do whatever they want to do with it, all behind closed doors, of course. So the strength of the community is displayed through this when you realize that you put in $1.6 million, and over the course of the last 5 years with the International, we've gone from raising $1.3 million to raising $23.1 million. So it's the community that actually makes the prize pools. The community is the reason why Dota 2 is showing up on ESPN. And there's more and more developers who are cottoning onto this fact, and they don't even charge you for games anymore. You play games as a free-to-play thing, and you get the money to pay for this, for the developer to keep their continuous progression going. You get this by the microtransactions. So what we try and do now is try and make more of these events. So there are stadiums being filled all across the world. League of Legends probably has the biggest stadium they fill when they go to Korea, and they're filling 50,000 people into a stadium watching a computer game being played. The big grand finals, only one match gets played, and you've got that many people in there. I've cast in front of crowds of 30 to 36,000 people for $26 million prize pool. This is an insane industry, but we're not just wanting to hit esports. The esports talents are the ones who are trained in this area. They understand this area, but there's a lot of content creators. How many people would actually just look onto YouTube, and when they play a new game, they want to know how they can be good at it. They'll look up content and they'll go, how do I win at this game? Even if you're sitting there playing a Facebook game or some game you found on the Play Store, and you're like, how can I beat my friend at this who challenged me to a duel? You look it up, you find out information. This is where the content creators are starting to really gain a lot of traction, because they become experts in their field by just talking about what they're already passionate about and what they spend a large portion of their time doing. So we want to give them power to get there. And of course, you have to look at the audience, you have to look at the people who are enabling this. So the audience is massively growing when it comes to not just the people who play games, but the people who watch games. There's big streaming platforms out there like Twitch, who are recently bought up by Amazon. You've got others getting out there very heavily too. MLG, who work very tightly now with Blizzard as a developer with their big Overwatch League, which is signing up huge teams across America right now and expanding globally. This player base is growing up massively, and this consumer base is also growing as well. Anyone who plays a game on their phone is already a gamer, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you may want to say, no, I'm not a gamer, I don't sit in the basement the entire time. The stereotype is being heavily challenged because everyone's understanding that gaming is just a way of life. It's a way to connect with people on a global scale in a competitive environment. So even though I don't like to admit it, my mother is even a gamer, as she challenges her sister all the time to Facebook Solitaire. But this makes her understand more of our world, becomes more of a consumer, and sponsors are getting on board with this too. They're understanding that this is an exploding market. That's why we actually have groups like I was at an event in Frankfurt, which had Pringles and Mercedes-Benz as the two primary sponsors for this entire thing. And they managed to raise up enough money, not only to run a LAN event, but also have a $500,000 prize pool there as well. So everyone's understanding they can buy into this stuff, and it's not even that expensive compared to the amount of marketing budget you use elsewhere. So all of this is wonderful, but what the hell does BestMeta do? I've just told you all about esports, told you all about the opportunities that are there. How does BestMeta actually help you with the next step? And the simple answer is it connects you. So we make a decentralized esports ecosystem. We pull everything into one location. So we want to bring in the people who have great ideas. We want to bring in the people who want to create fantastic content, put them in one location. Then we want to take the strength of the community that you saw and put them into one location. And you then want to take investors or endorsers, people who want to get into the esports world or the gaming world, and they don't know how. An executive is just like, oh, my boss told me I need to find something that's unique and different in the gaming world for Q1. How do I find this person? Where's the catalog to find these people? If I don't know the right people, I can't connect with these people. And that's what BestMeta is able to do. It is a portal, it's a catalog that's able to connect all of these people together. And you don't just get the cookie cutter stuff. You don't just get every single presentation that's come before you, because that's not what grants you respect. What grants you respect is something that sets you apart from everybody else. It's something which is unique, it's creative. I had Red Bull on my previous slide. I've worked with Red Bull a lot. And when you come to them and you say, hey, I want to run something which I've already run before, they'll say no. They'll say, I want to have something which is interesting, that's more adrenaline, it's more something which is not what you've already done. I want to have something different and useful where my brand wants to be next to it. And this is what the platform does. And we don't sit here saying, okay, talent can only do this, because you don't want to limit talent. We're a creative industry. We're a very adolescent industry, but we're a very creative industry. Everyone's got a new idea because the software's moving forward, the hardware's moving forward, everything just continues to shift forward. Even a major esport game will last 7 to 9 years maximum before the next iteration must present itself. And this is where the platform, when you just have a system which is in place, which promotes ideas, which promotes development, this is the system which BestMeta should be able to do. And I know we can achieve this as well. So unfortunately, you have me as a good example there. So the simple way the system works is someone will give me a BestMeta token. So the BestMeta is the token where we'll run our economy off. Someone gives me this, and I give them a service in return. So I just recently did a panel show. It was a gaming panel show. It was actually quite a lot of fun, and I had a whole bunch of talents that are there. So what do I give them in return? I want to give them backstage access. I want to get them a VIP seat. I want to give them merchandise signed by their favorite talent that appeared on the show. This is the type of stuff that I can give as a service in return. And it's more of this smart contract, which is then between me and someone that invests in me. They don't just give me money for the sake of giving me money. Nobody wants that. You want to have something where it's like, I actually have written proof saying, you're going to give me this in return. And that's what we want to try and achieve. And that's where the smart contracts kick in. And I think that's where I also run out of time.